Hello, everybody. Welcome back once again to another fantastic episode of Two Kobolds in a Trench Coat, the best TTRPG podcast you will listen to. And I'm saying that because it's true. And today we are, I'm not going to deny it. We put a lot of work in. So today we're going to
turn up. That's enough.
Yeah, exactly. So today we're going to do one of our segments called Talking Class, as I've named it. And we've called it, and we're going to do The Rogue. And we have a very special guest. You know her from Roll the Damn Dice as Oriana. You know her from Homebrew Havoc. I just nearly forgot the name of our own show.
Oh my god.
Cadis on Homebrew Havoc. And on Monday, the 8th of May, you will see her on the final boss fight YouTube channel for a Twitch channel as well. For a one-shot called Furious Road. It is the one and only, our lovely friend and returning to the show, Toni Shaw. Welcome back.
Welcome back.
You.
How are the cushions this time round? We've got new cushions.
Oh, they're good. Yeah, I noticed. The decoration here is like, you guys have upped your game since last time I was round. I like the chandelier as well. The chandelier's like a real statement piece.
I think maybe you're giving us a little bit too much credit. We just dusted. That's literally all I did. So,
and this is why we're the best TTRPG podcast you can listen to. I'm standing by.
Because we dust. Because we dust.
Because it's that as well.
I love coming to the cave. I love coming to the cave. I love sitting around the fire on these lovely new cushions, with some toasted marshmallows going. It's great. I love coming to visit you guys.
Thanks. Thanks for turning up. But we are here to talk about The Rogue. Yes, indeed. So, now, where should we kick this off? Let's start off with asking you your personal preference.
Yeah.
Go on.
All right.
What I'll say is, what is it that draws you, Toni, friend of the show, to The Rogue?
Sneak attack.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. Good night.
There we go. That's it. Sneak attack. There we go. All done.
Sneak attack. Yes.
That's it.
Yeah.
No, but in all seriousness, because this is a very serious episode.
Okay.
Sorry. Have you not heard my paladin rant? Come on. It's just talking class paladin was just me ranting for 20 minutes.
I think what I like about it is that it's one of those classes, it's one of those middle classes that I quite enjoy in terms of it's, you can, do melee battle with it, you can do ranged. In some circumstances, for myself personally, with Oriana, who is a rogue, I've got magic with her because of innate tiefling abilities, and she's an arcane trickster rogue. So you've got a lot of variation in that, which I really enjoy. I also really like having super high dex and like stealth and everything, and I find from what my experience of D&D, that's always really useful to have. A big old high dex. Obviously, you don't have to if you don't want to, but why the hell are you playing a rogue? Be a barbarian, man. But no, I do. I like that aspect. I feel like there's a lot of variation with the rogue because the armor class is pretty like middle ground. I had so at the moment with Oriana, we very recently leveled up, and I've taken a level in sorcery as well. But before that, when I was just pure rogue, I had like a level 15, a 15 AC. Sorry, an AC 15.
Oh, okay, wow.
Which was pretty good. Like that was with the leather armor and stuff. So yeah, that kind of gives you that opportunity to do kind of more ranged stuff, but also, if needs be, get up in there and get with doing some bits of melee attacks as well.
Yeah,
which
definitely.
I like. And then of course sneak attack, which I love so much. With the level 9 rogue that I had with Oriana, 5d6 extra damage. Mwah.
Pretty damn good.
Chef's kiss. And 9 times out of 10, I would be able to use it as well, because we have a paladin as well, played by the lovely Joy Amy Wigman. A Dragonborn paladin who is always getting involved in the melee fighting.
So within 5 feet of you at all times?
Or pretty much, or within 5 foot of some form of enemy. So like,
wow.
I'm it's like the great. It's great if you're a rogue and you've got a barbarian or a paladin or a fighter or any one of them, like a strength-based fighter, and any of those sort of classes on your side, monks. You are just use sneak attack every single time. Yeah, it's brilliant. I love it.
So spam that sneak attack.
I am just gonna say I actually had an NPC rogue. I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but when I create my NPCs, I don't just use standard stat blocks. Certain ones get their own full stat block, like as if they were a character, because on occasion my players have had to puppet these NPCs, so I have them with full stat blocks just in case. This guy was a level 15 rogue, and in a single shot from his short bow, he did something like 37 points of damage.
Ooh!
And I looked at it and I went, that bandit that he just fired at, is very much just paste on the floor right now. So don't worry about that guy. You just carry on. Moving on. It's ridiculous how much damage that sneak attack can add. It's
crazy, mad. And then also you've got evasion on there as well. No, evasion. Yeah, evasion. I know what
uncanny dodge.
Uncanny dodge. I think evasion's the one where I know the names of them, and I remember
Evasion's where you take half damage, I think, or you negate some of the damage.
If you do, so yeah, if you have to roll a dex save against a spell attack, if you succeed, you take no damage rather than half, and if you fail, you only take half rather than the full damage, which is
an ability. Again,
so
perfect.
Good.
Yeah,
so good. And also because I'm a tiefling as well, so I think it was one time I was in a wall of fire. It didn't really matter in the end because I succeeded, so I didn't take any of the damage. But if I'd have failed, I would have taken half the damage because of evasion, and also another, and then that halved again because I was fire resistant because I was a tiefling. So it was all.
It worked all in your favour there.
Oh yeah, it's brilliant. I love it. I love it as a combination.
If you haven't gone and see Roll the Damn Dice, go check it out. It's a great show. And you will notice that Oriana does have some magical items. Is it the dagger on the magical daggers on the arms or something, isn't it? Something like that?
Yeah. So Paul Avery, who DMs, who mostly DMs for Roll the Damn Dice, homebrewed me this item for Oriana, which is just incredible. I love it. So they are called the armbands of flying daggers, I think is the name that he's given it. But they're basically just these armbands, and you just pull an unlimited supply of daggers from them.
Nice.
Which are great in combat. So you can you can do 2 at a time as an attack. But the thing is, they don't last. So if you pull one out to stab somebody with, you could do that. But if you don't stab them, then it will disappear. It doesn't like.
Oh, so you have to do something, right? Okay, yeah.
You kind of have to do something, or nothing really happens with them.
So it's a little bit like the psychic blades on the.
Is it the fighter?
No, the psionic rogue class has a thing called psychic blades.
Oh yes.
And you can basically use them like that. And then whether you hit or miss after that attack, they disappear.
Yeah. So okay. It's probably based off that. Then he gave that to me as a homebrew item that I could do it as an arcane trickster rogue as well.
Nice.
But they, instead of like psychic damage, they do magical piercing damage instead.
Which is always quite handy because there's always going to be an enemy out there that will only be harmed by magical weapons.
Yeah, they're really good. And then obviously have that on top with a bit of sneak attack. That's another however many points
another
of
D6,
extra
another
points
more,
of magical
all the
piercing damage.
Yeah,
all the D6s.
All the D6s.
It's just occurred to me that rogues are essentially just little balls of compact damage, really, aren't they?
Oh yeah, they're insane. This is why I love them so much, because I always think because dagger attacks don't do much damage at all, and that's normally what I go for because of being a rogue. And like I've got these armband things, and like normally they just don't do a whole lot of damage. So then when you add the sneak attack on top, it's always the amount of times where I've like been in an episode and I'll like do it, and normally the enemy will be on like 5 hit points, and I managed to take them all down with just the attack, or like the 2 blade attacks. And then I'm gonna roll sneak attack, and Paul was like, you don't need to.
But I want to, Paul.
I'm going to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't deny me, Avery.
Let me do this.
Yeah. Well, damn it, don't deny me, man. Yeah, it's the one thing I have.
This is my entertainment for the evening. Rolling massive numbers of clicky clacks.
I mean, to be honest, it does. I mean, that's what they're there for. But now, this is a broken thing. Is if you had like a low dex rogue, it's just like the worst rogue of all time.
What is the point? I
don't exactly.
What are you doing?
I'm just going to put it out there that in my Monday group there is a rogue. Dex is not their highest stat.
What's the highest stat?
Charisma.
Okay. Now,
interesting.
Followed by intelligence. Now, the reason being, they are a mastermind.
That's why.
Okay.
That is why. They base a lot of their features off of intelligence and their charisma. So the dexterity for them is just kind of like, okay. What I'm going to do instead is, none of my friends are in range. I'm going to give myself insightful fighting, so I still get the advantage and still get the sneak attack, and I've just discovered your weakness, so fuck you, bitch. Oh, sorry, that was rude. Oh well, never mind.
That's all right, you
guys
swear.
Have sworn multiple times on this show. I
have said so much worse, but I feel bad every time.
Explicit warning.
It's because you're here, Tony. I don't mind like making Shiv's ears bleed.
Oh, no, it's all right. It's all right. I'm from.
Go on. You're from.
I'm from Telford, and I used to work in a co-op in Telford. That would be every other word for some of the customers who came in. Not, like
pretty
worse.
salty language in Telford.
Yeah, to be fair, a bit of Telford I was working in.
I grew up in London, or near London.
Okay, fair enough.
London.
Fair enough. You win. You win.
I win. The whole of England, apparently. It's an interesting and very diverse place. I am glad I left. I don't like London at all. It's too big, it's too busy, it's too smelly. Edinburgh's better. There, you heard it on Two Kobolds. Edinburgh's better.
Oh, okay. I'll take your word for it. Never been.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, Edinburgh's just better. The tram is clean.
Top travel tip. Go to Edinburgh.
London is nice. London's beautiful. I do like London as well. London's gorgeous, but Edinburgh is stunning. It's so gorgeous.
And it's got underground caverns where they built on top of the old city. And it's like, super haunted. Perfect for rogues hiding in shadowy places, waiting to pick your pocket.
And that's the segue we wanted.
We're back.
We're back on track.
We're back in, baby.
Yeah.
So, the issue that I've seen with rogues is that they are regularly played as the cocky pickpocket type. A lot of people I know are always all like, I'm the best rogue ever, I'm the best pickpocket. What is the best way to avoid that trope? Because it drives me nuts.
Well, somebody's not watched Roll the Dice.
I unfortunately haven't, because I have shit in it. I don't get to watch these things because they don't play for me. And I'm really upset by this, as I can't watch half of my shows.
To be fair, no, I think Oriana has that, like, vibe. So I do kind of play her as this kind of, like, cockney kind of, but she's not all of, that's not her thing. I don't play her as this big old, like, edgelord, like, oh, I'm a fucking gangster and I'm gonna fuck you. I created her backstory based on the fact that the reason she became a rogue is because she was kind of more forced into it. So there is a little bit of an edgy vibe to her, but I don't like playing on it too much. I like playing with the more of the sort of comedy side of things, just because I prefer that as a performer. But I think how I did it, or how I have sort of tried to avoid it, is that she kind of has a bit of a Fagin-y vibe in which
You've got to pick a bucket or two.
Yeah.
Kids, out you go. Collecting all the urchins.
No. So she's Fagin in the fact that she does basically look after all of these like orphan kids. However, what the kind of the twist on that is that I play her whole backstory is that she looks after these kids who have been like orphaned and are homeless and living on the streets of the Plug Hole, which is essentially like the capital city, or like close as within the world that Roll the Damn Dice is sat. And she actually tries really hard to make sure that none of the kids have to do that. So she goes out and does it herself. She'll go out and she'll steal food, like trinkets, coins, usually off like the rich and affluent.
Wow.
Because
reverse Fagin.
Yeah. But then she'll also go out and she'll go and steal like learning resources. So like books and stuff like that, because she wants the kids that she looks after to actually have a future and to be able to go out and not have to worry about, oi, you're wanted for like nicking this thing. And it's like, she wants to be able to make sure that they don't have to go through that. So she looks after them. She makes sure that they can grow up in an environment where they have everything that they need. And then once they're like old enough, there's chances for them to go out into the world and actually like get jobs, become apprentices for people, because they haven't got like a criminal record, because she's the one doing all the criminal activity. So I do kind of play her as a bit of like a mom was kind of the vibe, but like a bit of a fun mum. But it's made a lot. No. Well,
maybe if you see the show, there's a bit of that.
In the evenings.
It's made. I think that side of her has been made a lot easier, because one of the performers, Luke, is actually playing one of these kids.
I did wonder where that wizard came from.
Yeah, so Flight is Luke's playing Flight, who's this 13-year-old girl who is Oriana's adopted daughter, essentially, or one of many adopted daughters. And there's a whole load of other family connections there that's just going to take me hours to explain, and it's not really important to this conversation, but
it is to the listeners.
Yeah. Watch the show, gang. It's great.
Or even better, record it for me and then send it to me on a USB so I can see it, because I can't actually stream.
What I'll do is I'll download them and burn them all to DVD for you.
Yeah.
Make a little cover as well. Send it to me in like a DVD case, and I'll play it on my.
Good Lord, it's like it's 1998 again.
Oh, don't even. We've only just got fibre. It's only just had fibre installed. Come on. I've got to wait another 2 months before I can switch.
Well, I do like the sort of Thief with the Heart of Gold aspect. I think that's fun.
So I think Robin Hood's probably a better.
Just destroying my studio space.
The chandelier's fallen. The chandelier in the cave has fallen.
I'm sorry. I kicked the rope. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's
this
okay.
is going to be a big insurance claim.
It's me and my twitchy leg syndrome. I'm sorry.
Restless leg.
And the salamander's got out of its cage as well. I'm sorry. Let me just go and put that back in. Hang on. I actually do have to go and remove the dog. Excuse me. Keep talking.
Oh, I thought you meant an actual salamander. I was like really stressed out. I was like, shit, you got a salamander that's escaped?
No, I wish I had a salamander.
No. You're calling Sky. You're calling Sky a salamander.
Sky is the official kobold salamander, yeah.
Okay, that's fair enough. That's okay, that's all right. I'm not stressed anymore. Bloody hell. Nearly had a heart attack then.
It's like, a menagerie of lizards has got out. What? But the Heart of Gold aspect I quite like, because it just gives a different sort of take on the rogue than the standard sort of like, this is what they do. They're the bad guy. They're seedy. They're sort of a little bit, from the wrong side of the tracks.
No, she's definitely a good person. She just found herself in unfortunate circumstances. But she's also not afraid to like do the dirty work. So do the stealing and stuff. She's not really afraid of that because that's what she's had to grow up doing, because she grew up thinking that she was an orphan for such a long time. So yeah, she's like spent like a good period of time, because it was basically in the campaign that we're playing now is when she kind of got whisked away by this group of adventurers, because three of her kids, including Flight, who Luke plays, got kidnapped. So she had to like fight, and conveniently found herself in the exact same place as all of the other player characters. And like then she's gone on to help them. Now, like she found the kids. Turns out they're all fine, and then she's ended up going on an adventure to help this group of travelers that who helped her find her kids.
Yeah,
she's like, well, I'll go help you. And also there's a thing with a child that's calling out for help, and that kind of plays to her like
I must always help the downtrodden.
That really mothering side. So I think Robin Hood's probably a better comparison for her than maybe Fagin, because Fagin's more very like, nah, I'm gonna sit back and do nothing. You fuckers go and get the shit, you know?
Yeah, you bring me trinkets and cash and stuff.
And I'll sell them. Like, well, she's pretty opposite. I think it's just the whole looks after kids, but actually she's doing it from a very like nurturing point of view rather than I can get stuff out of this. So that's how I kind of do it, and I don't like playing into her being too kind of edgy. I think I do play with a bit of a fun side, because she is fun, and you know, a bit of a more of like a sort of a bit of a lad kind of, rather than necessarily like a, you know, sneaky
sort of, I'm gonna steal from every party member type attitude.
She would never steal from anybody who she likes or is friends with, so she would never steal from the party, because that's not her. She wouldn't gain anything from that. No, like exactly morally, and it's just like, well, what's the point? Because I'm with these guys, and I've said I'll help them, so I'm not going to steal from everybody else. So I suppose in a way that there is that kind of edgy vibe, but it's very much kind of
it's always in the background. It's not always at the front. It's not prevalent. I feel
it's not her personality. Yeah. It's not her personality. No. So I suppose in that sense, that's how I do it.
That's cool. No, I like that. I like that take on the rogue. It's good. It's different. It's not as in your face as like, because I've played in games where the rogue will do something like that. We'll be like, everyone's asleep, right? I'm going to start stealthing and pickpocketing people. And you're like, why?
Yeah.
What are you getting out of this?
I know that you're a rogue, but kind of thing.
Yeah.
This is like kleptomania.
she would never do that as a character, but there is also I would never do that as a player, because I think that's a real, like, I feel like that's just a bit of a dick move as a player.
Yeah.
Like,
I
always think that for me, D&D is a very much a group game. Like, it's a team sport. It's a team game. And you're a team. And unless there is something that specifically happened, or there is a specific story that you're trying to tell, or you've discussed it beforehand, that you're like, actually, we're going to play enemies, and this is going to be the storyline that we want to create, just play it, be nice and helpful to the rest of the players. Or else it's just not, I don't know, it just doesn't, it stops being fun, I suppose. Or at least I don't think it would be fun. I mean, that's just
precisely.
You know, I can't talk for every single player in the world ever, because that's not, I'm not those people. But,
you represent the whole rogues.
You're representing the rogue right now. So I've mentioned that in my Monday game there is a mastermind. What do you think of the idea of the rogue played as the law-abiding side? So our mastermind is actually a private detective.
That works. I like that.
I love that.
So they brought me this concept and said to me, I want it to be a little bit like Columbo.
Just one more thing.
Just one more thing. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And it's very Columbo, but they use all their rogue skills as like deception and the sleight of hand. It's all about the illusion and the building and the trickery and that. But they don't actually actively, they don't steal. They break into places to go and find evidence and investigate stuff, but they don't actually steal anything. In fact, I have never seen them pick a pocket. We've been playing for a year, and they have not picked a single pocket.
Yeah,
and like, is this really a rogue? Is it a rogue?
Yeah, no, I love that. Because, like, that's the thing. I was like, to be fair, I say she is a pickpocket, but in the campaign, she's never picked any pockets. She's never stolen anything because she's not needed to now. So I'm kind of in the same. I've not actually stolen anything in character, not that I can think of off the top of my head, anyway. But like, I've not actually stolen anything because I've not needed to. And I think that works is like because the skills involved, the sort of stereotypical like main skills that you get as a rogue, like, you know, well, because intelligence is normally the second, or at least for me it is. Intelligence is the second because I'm arcane trickster and that's my spellcasting modifier. So
yes, so it's got to be so you're high intelligence, high dex.
So yeah, investigation. I've got a +11 to investigation. You know, I've got, because charisma and intelligence for me are the same. I've got the same modifier for them, which is why I've decided to go sorcerer as my sort of my multi-class for her. But yeah, like, there's so many things in stealth, sleight of hand. I feel like there's a lot of that in PI work. You're gonna try and be stealthy. You're gonna try and do things without being seen. I think that's like
clever.
Like, I think that's perfect. I think that's a very roguish, like,
sort of
job
type you could go with. You could go down that, like you just said, like the PI route where there's a bit of deception. You're trying to deceive people into giving you answers and stuff and all that. I think that's quite cool. That's an interesting take on that, actually. It's not something I thought.
Yeah, I think stealing isn't necessarily something like, because people think sleight of hand, it's nicking stuff. But not always. It doesn't have to be.
Sleight of hand is just illusion, manipulation, distraction, you know. So we like that. We like that kind of rogue. What about the Tomb Raider rogue? So think about it this way. If you were going to give Lara Croft a class, she is very intelligent.
Yep.
Very dexterous. She can deceive others with the sleight of hand, her charisma. I would say Lara Croft is a rogue, just with guns.
I would have to agree with you. I think, hearing your arguments, this isn't going to be.
I don't have to agree.
No.
That would be my. That would actually be my how I would play a Lara Croft because because the dexterity, the sneakiness. There's an element of theft. Yes, she's a Tomb Raider, but
I think there would have to be a multi-class. I think there might have to be a multi-class with that. I don't think she could be straight rogue. I think she'd have to be rogue fighter.
Ranger. I'd go ranger.
Okay.
Because you get pass without trace and stuff like that.
Yeah, but you can pick pass without a trace with certain features.
Not in my games, you don't.
All right.
It's only attached to the ranger, and that is it. No, I'm joking. But no, I just think, like, playing the newer Tomb Raider games, because it's more out in the elements, it's more out in nature and things. You're in the forest, you're in all this sort of gear. I think I'd probably go multi-class, maybe fighter, maybe ranger. That's how I'd probably split it. But there's got to be an element of rogue in there for sure. I agree on that part.
Yeah. I think an element, but yeah, I think maybe the reason I would say fighter is because she's really good at fighting, or even monk actually, because it just seems to be a lot of like hand to hand sort of combat that she does. From what my very vague knowledge of Lara Croft, mainly being the Angelina Jolie film, it's a lot of hand to hand. So maybe even monk actually, rather than fighter, but that would work as a really nice multi-class because it's both very dex based. Obviously then you've got to like juggle with, you're going to go wisdom or intelligence, but I suppose that depends on how many levels of each thing you take.
Do you think a monk rogue is quite deadly?
I think monk rogue would be a fucking terrifying
beast. An absolute beast, yeah.
And I may have to look into that.
Oh god.
Excuse me while I roll up a character right now.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
What actually got me thinking about that was actually, first off, Indiana Jones, because with the whip, and, he does an awful lot of jumping and swinging and sneaking and stealing the golden idol and putting the bag of sand on and all that kind of thing. And that got me thinking about Lara Croft. Yeah, that got me thinking about Lara Croft. And then as a whole, if you were a Tomb Raider, being a rogue would be a good class to take. I know a lot of people, when asked, will often take like, oh, I'm going to go fighter. and be a Tomb Raider. And you know what? Okay, I get that. Because, the fighting of zombies and stuff, kind of let's be fair. Nobody likes to run across a zombie and not be able to punch it in the face and take it out. Actually, you could just sneak around it.
Yeah.
You could just stealth your way around it because most zombies are stupid.
Yeah.
So you could probably just sneak around it as a rogue and not have to fight at all.
Mm.
And nobody will ever know you were there. I don't know why I did that. Just for the. I think I need to take some medication, but
Was that just to add the suspense?
Because
I need the glug that we were talking about earlier.
Because going in there just like sort of maybe as a fighter or whatever, and going in there like guns are blazing and like fighting everything that you see, it's like you can't really do that very quietly.
No.
So like you're probably gonna just attract more attention than you want in that situation. So yeah, I think being very sneaky and stealthing around them and stuff, and like just
and I think with the sneak attack and the all that kind of gear, all that kind of stuff, I think that's going to help you in that sort of situation as well. So you're able to hold your own while you're fighting, but you're also able to slip away. In D&D terms, disengage, evasion, all that sort of stuff, and get the hell out there if you need to. Double dash and all that jazz.
Oh, that is the other thing I absolutely love about Rogue is the cunning action. Being able to disengage as a bonus action rather than
precisely
as an action. That oh my god, so good.
It will get you out of a lot of scrapes. That will be like, cunning action, disengage, I'm out of here, catch you later. 40-foot movement, I'm gone.
Well, I was going to say, also dash. Like, dash, you can take dash as bonus action or hide. So that's pretty sick. As a thing you can do, it's like really cool to have that.
You can, it's very versatile in that sense that there's a lot you can do in a situation, in a lot of different variation of situations. You can be like, my rogue can get me out of these sort of spots. I can get involved with this. And like when you start taking multi-class in like levels of sorcerer and stuff like that, you go, now I can spell attack from range. I can area effect stuff as well and slip away and hide. So there's a lot of stuff that you can be done with a rogue. It's pretty cool in that sense, I feel.
Yeah. Something that I find interesting about rogues. Now, a lot of people I know that have played rogues often complained, we don't get very much in the way of like cool features and that. That was something that somebody said to me. I actually think that they're looking at it completely wrong, because the rogue gains the most ASIs out of all of the classes. And where there's an ASI, there's the opportunity for a feature. Yes. I'm not being funny, but I would quite happily give up some of my class features on other things to get another ASI. I'm not being funny here. Yeah. It's ridiculous how many improvements they get. So what they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 of them. I think most others only get 4.
Right.
But on top of that,
right. Yeah, that's about right. Yeah, that sounds about right.
And all of these bits and pieces that they get, so expertise, evasion, uncanny dodge, your cunning action, your slippery mind, your blind sense, 18th level, elusive, at 20th level, stroke of luck. How can this not be considered cool? You basically never get hit and screw with people every time you have advantage. At 20th level, it's 10d6 sneak attack. That's a maximum of 60 damage. Just from your sneak attack. It's ridiculous. I don't understand how anyone can say that the rogue class doesn't have anything, because it does. And it's because of those additional ability scores. It's so mutable. You can quite literally just pick and choose things and make it the kind of rogue that you want. You want a telepathic rogue? Yep, you can grab that feat. You don't have to worry about balancing your feats and your scores. Because you got so many of them, and I don't get it.
Stealing stuff by telekinesis.
I'm not gonna lie, I have seen it done, and it's very good fun to watch.
There you go, guys.
There's a finger
Top
waggle
tip.
in there as well from Tony. I can see it. It's just wiggling at me.
Yeah.
And like, what have I done now?
Also, it was a waggle of approval.
Oh right.
Yeah, it was like, I approve of this message.
Oh, it was an up and down waggle, not a side to side waggle. So it wasn't one of these. It was a yes.
There's a distinct difference.
All right, listeners out there, a lot of finger wagging going on.
There's an awful lot of finger wagging going on right now.
Yeah.
There's
Continue.
also as the archetype that so my subclass, as I've mentioned, Arcane Trickster, because I like having spellcasting options with my classes, even if they're limited, which also means that the character sheet's a lot less to print out, which I like.
Save on that ink.
Yeah, it's honestly, literally. I was playing a level 13 druid for something the other day, and honestly had like 9 pages of just stuff, and I'm like, stop this. But yeah, so something I got with the Arcane Trickster subclass as well is a thing called Mage Hand Legerdemain. That's the one, Legerdemain. Thank you so much for telling me.
I knew what you were saying.
I have no idea. Yeah. So yeah, when you cast Mage Hand, you can make the Spectral Hand invisible, stow or retrieve objects, or use thieves' tools to pick locks and disarm traps at range. And then so you can you can also disguise that using your sleight of hand check, which for me is a +8, and then also you can use, because of the cunning action, you can use the bonus action you can use your bonus action to control the Mage Hand, which Mage Hand's a cantrip.
That's a lot you can do with the Mage Hand.
Yeah, I think you still need to use the action. You still need to use your action to have it like start it. But like if you've got it up and about, your next turn bonus action you can control it.
Wow.
As bonus action, which is insane. I need to look at what. So it lasts for the duration. Yeah, so it lasts a minute. So Mage Hand lasts a minute. So if you wanted to, you could have the Mage Hand up an entire combat session, doing other things in the background as a bonus action while you're there fighting. So if you're distracting, if you're like in a fun like library or a laboratory or something like this, and you're having a combat session, you could be there fighting this enemy. Your little Mage Hand's in the back there, nicking some stuff from there. I'm gonna nick this. I'm gonna take that. And the guy's not gonna notice, or the girl. The bad person's not gonna notice because you're too
Whoever
busy
they may be. Yeah,
throwing
exactly.
daggers at them or bloody firebolt or whatever you want.
So I mean that's top notch. That is top of the pops. That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
That's especially if you're in that situation like you just said, like where you're stealing. Like say you're in that scenario where like we've got to steal something, but we have to distract them at the same time. Perfect opportunity to use that. That's ace. That is ace. I like that. I mean my personal preference is the swashbuckler. That's my personal preference for the rogue. Because it's just fun. It's just fun to me. Rakish audacity, fancy footwork, panache. That's what I'm all about. The elegant maneuver. There you go. It's all that. That's what you want. The sort of old with a rapier. You're good to go. And I had an owlin rogue swashbuckler who took the crossbow expert feat as well.
Nice.
So he had a crossbow. So I was like, no disadvantage at close range. We're just like, ping, got ya, and run away.
Right in the gut. Why not?
Yeah, exactly. And there was a Rune Knight fighter who enlarged himself to make he was a giant. So I was like, right, bonus action. I want to hide up his leg to use that as cover. Come out, fire
up his leg,
up his like trouser leg. Come down.
Oh.
Come out,
God,
fire,
I hope he
and hide again, and hide again, and it worked. The DM went for it. I was like,
that's a no finger waggle.
That's a side to side. That's a side to side. No.
That's a no.
And when they went to shoot, I went, DM, I don't know if you noticed, I've got 3/4 cover.
Oh, you were that guy, were you?
Well, I was
Go
like,
on.
I mean, I'm hidden. I'm up his trouser leg. What do you want? He's wearing studded leather armor. You tell me what you want to do. You cannot see me. You cannot get to me. Your move, dear.
And if you
I'm
do
gonna
get to me, you have to come
fireball
into.
everything.
Yeah, you
And
have to
if you-
go up his trousers to get
You
him.
have to get. And I'm sorry, but you definitely have to disengage from that, surely. From
Yeah,
two,
damn right.
Not just one, but two.
There you go. Oh, and yeah, and if that happens, now you've got advantage because I'm there as well. Ha
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. No.
Check and mate, I think.
No. Can you imagine how sweaty it's going to be up there? Just no. Ew.
Hey,
as well.
I still got like a plus to my AC for cover, so I'll take it.
Wow. No, my back in the days of 3, my favourite
Days of yore.
rogue.
Go on.
The days of yore,
It was all fields.
flouncing through Neverwinter. I took rogue specifically to go Shadow Dancer. And I'm really sad that there is no Shadow Dancer official class, because the Shadow Dancer was bloody brilliant. I loved it. And the rogue was a perfect base for the Shadow Dancer. So now, being that there is no Shadow Dancer class, my go-to rogue is actually the Soul Knife. So the psionic one. So I think we've mentioned before, I think actually we were talking about it when we were talking about the sorcerers, because I took the Aberrant Mind sorcerer there.
Yeah.
And how the psionics in the sorcery weren't quite as good as for the fighter and the rogue. The Soul Knife is a fantastic example of how you can use psionics in games. It's brilliant. I love it. It really plays into the stealth and the accuracy thing with the dexterity, and plays into like the magic side of things as well, with things like the psychic veil and the mind rend. So I love the Soul Knife rogue. That is one of my favourites.
That's a lot better than Aberrant Mind.
It just does psionics better. And I think that rogues and psionics go well together, for the simple fact that psionics gives you the ability to manipulate things from a distance, with your mind. When you talk about psionics, you're talking about empaths, and you're talking about telepaths and telekinetics, psychic attacks, things like that. So rogues and psionics go very well together. Just in general, they're very complementary. And I love it. I think it's great. I love this class, and I would love to have played it. When Cal did his one shot, it was a Soul Knife that I was rolling up.
Oh yes.
And then I got stuck in traffic and couldn't play, so just sat in a traffic jam outside of Lincoln for 2 hours or whatever it was.
Getting more and more angry.
Just like,
at the fact,
I could be at home playing D&D, but I'm not. I'm staring at the bumper of this Ford Escort. Grr.
But just as you're saying that, I'm just looking at, like, again, multi-classing, because sometimes multi-classing is fun. If you went Echo Knight Fighter with Soul Knife Rogue, eat that.
So the Echo Knight, the chronologist of fighters,
where you can manifest echoes.
You can
and you
manifest.
Have like 3 of you.
So I don't like the idea of it being called an echo. It is a potential. It is a spirit of potential. It is the energy of unresolved futures. And yes, that is fucking cool. And I would absolutely love to play an Echo Knight as well, because you can, beat people with a shadow version of yourself. It's great. But,
exactly. Then add sneak attack on that.
Oh, would your Echo get sneak attack?
Well, no, I'm just saying, if you multi-class,
or does your
Echo Knight,
your Echo counts as your...
I think Echo Knight, if you had an Echo Knight fighter that was multi-class with a Soul Knife Rogue, you can either get advantage for sneak attack, or that gets sneak attack as well. Something's going to happen there. I'm not sure how you'd rule it, but I'm pretty sure you're going to be in a situation where there's 2 of you at all times, maybe 3 of you at all times. You're going to get something out of this situation. You're going to be able to spam that sneak attack.
Your enemy is just screwed in that sense,
yeah,
isn't it?
Basically. Does that make me a power gamer? I don't know.
I don't know. We'll discuss that another time. That can be...
But I think that's, just as you were explaining that, I was just like, hang on a minute, this sounds very familiar to a fighter class. And then I was like,
there's also the Psy Warrior fighter class,
Yes,
which is the
well.
psionics fighter class, which is again brilliant. But we're talking about rogues today because rogues are awesome.
We love rogues.
And yeah,
Yeah,
I love
definitely.
rogues. I love rogues.
They
rogues
are, yeah,
forever.
they're pretty cool. So, yeah, I mean, what would you say is the heart hands for everybody? What would you say is the least favorite of the rogue archetypes? I would say the thief, because that's just very vanilla and go-to. Stunned silence by the audience.
I'm just trying to think because they all have their own bits, but I think I would be inclined to agree with you there. Thief is, I think, the one that comes in the player's handbook.
Yes, it's the one that you can get. It's the first one you can play, like Lost Mines of Thunder. It's like a pre-generated character. It's just a rogue thief.
It's okay, but
I'm looking through it now. I'm like, it's all right.
I think the problem that I have is that I've been playing this game for so long and the concept of thief as a subclass has been in there for so long that when I've played a rogue,
doesn't attract you. Yeah.
I've played it to death. The thief is the bog standard, your quick go-to. It's the pre-gen when you play a rogue. And the number of times that you end up playing a pre-gen rogue as a thief, it's just... I think for me, that's what turns me off about that particular one, because I played it so much, it just doesn't appeal to me anymore.
Yeah.
I want to try something else. I want to try something new. That's why I love the Soul Knife. Because it's different. It's exciting. It reminds me of my Shadow Dancer days.
The days of the Shadow Dancer.
The days of the Shadow Dancer are long gone now.
Yeah.
But yeah, what the fuck? What's going on here?
Nothing.
I mean, maybe that's the problem. I would be inclined to agree with you on the thief. Yeah, I think
I'm just looking at the thief sort of subclass now, and starting at 3rd level, it says you can use your bonus action to make a dex sleight of hand check to use your thieves' tools to disarm or trap or open a lock. I can do that with a fake hand. I can do it with a fake hand. Whilst continuing as a bonus action while continuing to fight, like with Arcane Trickster.
Precisely. And so why would you do that?
And yeah, I'm not because I'm not like I know Arcane Trickster well. I don't really know many of the other subclasses super well. I'm kind of just reading this thief one, and I'm not like really impressed.
Yeah, no, it's one of those ones you're like, it's okay.
The best one I'm looking at is when you reach 17th level, the one that I'm kind of going, oh, that's quite cool, which is the Thieves' Reflex. You become adept at laying ambushes and quickly escaping danger. You can take two turns during the first round of any combat session, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
Normal. You take one first one at your normal initiative, and your second one at your initiative -10.
Oh, it's a little bit.
Well, use magic device is quite handy at 13th level because you ignore all the class, race, and level requirements for magic items. But I don't know about you guys, but I actually haven't encountered an awful lot of magic items that I couldn't use in a game.
No, the only magic items that I have are the armbands, which I just had at the beginning of the session. Like, they were just given to me by the DM, so I didn't even need to do anything with them. And I've got a ring of regeneration that I found in some loot, which is sick, by the way. It's so good. But I'm sure I'm going to really annoy Paul at some point, because next to my player, I'm going to just be going, how long has it been since this happened? How many minutes has it been since this happened? If you don't know what the ring of regeneration is, listeners, it's pretty much what it says on the tin, but it's basically once you you have to attune to it, which obviously you do your attunement, or you take 24 hours, whatever. But basically, when you lose hit points, every 10 minutes past you losing hit points, you can roll a d6, and that's how many hit points you gain back. Or it also helps if your character has like lost a limb and you're wearing the ring. Ideally you're not wearing the ring on the limb you've lost, because then you're screwed. But if you're wearing the ring, you can the limb that you've lost will grow back within D4 number of days or D6 number of days or something like that.
quite cool.
Yeah, it's pretty sick. But like, I just had it and I just attuned to it. It took me 24 hours, but it's...
I don't know why, but I'm now thinking of that Deadpool scene where he's had his hat.
Yeah. So she's got like little baby hand and like a little nub, then baby hand, and then it's just
legs. It's the legs in Deadpool 2, I believe.
The baby legs.
Yeah.
Oh no. Oriana's been sliced in half. Don't worry, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Give it a couple of days.
So far I've only used it for hit points. I've not lost any limbs, but it's pretty cool. But yeah, and to be fair, the only reason she has it is because she picked it up from a loot pile because she's really into like gold and jewelry. She just likes it. She's a little bit of a hoarder like that, so she just likes, it's like the little bit of luxury she can get from her life. If she nicks stuff, if she sees something that's like a gold piece of jewelry, she'll nick that, but she'll keep that for herself as just like a little, like a nice little
trinket.
A little treat. Yeah, Oriana's can have a little bit of gold as a treat.
Hello, Dave. Like the rings, just collecting rings.
You're my wife now, Dave.
Like Papa Lazarus.
I wasn't expecting any League of Gentlemen references. You thrown me off.
There you go.
In Two Kobolds, we like to surprise.
Yeah. Ariana's out there collecting rings like Papa Lazarus.
Yeah, she basically picked up the ring because she liked it. She thought it looked nice, so she's like, "Oh, I'm just gonna pop it on because I like it, and it just, I like the jewelry." And then like 24 hours later, it's giving her all sorts of HP back.
Yeah.
And she's like, "I'm feeling a lot better."
See, this is sometimes when there's like an identify spell is quite handy, but I like the fact that you didn't know what it was at the time, or she didn't know what it was at the time. Yeah.
Paul,
above table, below table.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Paul told me because he was like, "You're gonna have to attune to this, I think, so you can like figure out like how you're gonna do that."
Yes.
Sort of thing.
Makes sense.
And also then I could just start using it at some point and just quietly
just
roll D6 in the background.
Oh, that's 4. Great. Fantastic. 4 more hit points for me. So inquisitive.
Every now and then your DM just goes, have some hit points. So you're like, why the fuck am I getting these hit points? You don't know yet.
Do they count as temporary hit points or actual hit points?
No, they're actual hit points.
Actual hit points.
Oh, wow. So if you're at max, it doesn't do anything then, or what?
Yeah, it doesn't do anything.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's a shame. So I think that'd be cool. If you hit max, then you get temporary. You'd be like, I've just got loads of hit points now.
A very broken item, I think.
Yeah. Hey, I've got as much as the barbarian. Cool.
Yeah, but no, it's a nice bit. It's a cool bit of kit.
Yeah, definitely.
I like it, but.
So if you're thinking of like rogues, and obviously you've got the other two, well, there's a couple more. There's like Assassin, Inquisitive, and Phantom we haven't talked about. What are our opinions of those?
So the Inquisitive is interesting. This would be good for the Columbo type. Alongside the Mastermind, this is a good one for...
They feel like you could switch either of them. You could use either of those for that sort of detective.
I think either would work. The Assassin... I think that kind of speaks for itself in what it is and what it does. It's another one of those basic ones that you get early on. I prefer it to the Thief, but Phantom is interesting.
Oh, yes.
And a little bit creepy, not going to lie. The whole Whispers of the Dead and Wails from the Grave kind of thing, it's very Strahd.
Yeah. Token of the Departed as well.
It's the kind of thing, I like it, but I would have to be very careful about the kind of campaign that I played it in. Because...
it feels very emo rogue.
It's quite... some of it is quite dark. Some of what you do with it is a bit... some people might not be comfortable with it. So, like snatching a token from a departed soul... So basically, you're taking a piece of someone's soul as a physical trinket. And
that's a bit, yeah.
That's very dark. That is very, that's definitely a very...
Sort of like you're collecting trophies here. This is what you're doing.
And admittedly, they have a use, and then you release it and it disappears and it goes. But it's still quite dark. It's definitely one that I would only play in a group of people that I knew well and that I trusted to know, this is literally just, this is not being a dick. This is...
You're not rolling up to random tables with your Phantom Rogue going, right, check this out.
No, I wouldn't, because I would have to either play that with there's a group I've been playing with for 8-9 years. I would play it with them. I would probably play it with you guys because I think I can trust you guys to know that screw it. You guys all know that I'm kind of morbid and I have a fascination with weird shit. So I trust it.
I can't imagine this is going to freak any of us out.
For the audience's benefit, Tony's just there nodding while munching on a salad. So yeah, weirdo freak. There we go.
I do like the ability. I do like the whales from the grave though. That's quite cool.
Whales from the grave is
kind of cool.
Yeah, you roll half your sneak attack damage.
Yeah.
Immediately after you deal your sneak attack damage to a creature on your turn, you can target a second creature that you can see within 30 feet of the first creature. Roll half the number of sneak attack dice for your level, round up, and the second creature takes necrotic damage equal to the roll's total as the Whales of the Dead sound around them for a moment. So yeah, that's quite cool. I mean, you could probably... I mean, that, to me, I'd rather have that as something like a feat that other rogue classes could possibly take advantage of. Because I like rolling half the sneak attack.
I like it. I think it's a really cool thing, and I think it would be really cool to have it as other rogues, but it's the way that they've kind of worded it, or at least the thing I'm reading at the moment, is you nudge somebody closer to the grave and you can channel the power of death to harm someone else as well. Like,
it's very specific.
That's very specific.
It's very dark.
Who hurt you? Right.
Yeah.
Wow. That's why I say it's one of those ones where I would only play it with a group of people that I really, really trusted, because it's one of those subclasses that it kind of, some of the things that it does are a little bit dark and freaky, and not everybody's into that kind of shit. So it would have to be a table of trust, and I like it,
definitely.
but
yeah. Well, I think that if you like rejig that as like homebrew that a little bit to be something different, but I like the idea of being able to target second creature and then boom, half the sneak attack damage on them as well. That sort of thing, There's a way around that. That'd be quite cool. That's a nice little ability without the menace and death and all that shit. But yeah, I mean, that they have some good archetypes, the rogues, and I think I never played an arcane trickster. That's more of a spelly type rogue, isn't it?
Yeah, that's why I went for it specifically, because I just like having those as an option. Like I said, I already had them already as being a tiefling, so I already had like darkness, thaumaturgy, and hellish rebuke. But I just like having the options, even though weirdly now I don't really use a lot of spells anyway because of the dagger armbands. But so I'm trying to, since I've taken some sorcery, a level in sorcery and leveling up when I do spells, I try to look for more like utility spells than necessarily like combat spells. So when I took my multi-class level in sorcery, the spells I took were, because I didn't actually have mage hand, but I took mage hand so I could use the mage hand legerdemain, thank you very much. And then I also the other two spells I took were comprehend languages and I took absorb elements as well. But I took absorb elements.
That's a good one.
It's a good one to take, especially because we're about to go into hell. The characters, not roll the damn dice, the cast.
Well, I mean,
I mean, I don't think you're that bad.
No.
Thanks. So I took comprehend languages, and I also took message as well, as a cantrip. I just thought these were, so I'm trying to definitely push more utility spells.
Can I make a utility recommendation though? A utility spell recommendation. Definitely the rope trick.
The rope trick?
If you can, rope trick.
I'll have to...
I have spoken with Shiv about this when we were talking about our top 5 spells, and rope trick is up there.
What level is that?
Second.
Okay, no, I can take that then. Because I can only... second level is the highest spell type I can take at the moment.
Oh, okay. Is that just... Let's discuss rope trick.
Again?
For those
okay. So
for those of us that are
trick.
educated and have bad memories.
I didn't want to say anything, but your memory is cat. So, Rope Trick is a second level transmutation spell
How very dare you.
with a material component of a length of rope up to 60 feet long. You touch this length of rope, one end rises into the air until the whole rope hangs perpendicular to the ground, and at the upper edge, an invisible entrance opens to an extra dimensional space that lasts until the spell ends.
My God.
You can reach this space by climbing
Oh,
to the top
yes.
of the rope. The space can hold as many as 8 medium or smaller creatures, and the rope can be pulled into the space, making it disappear from you from the outside. While in there,
So you-
attacks and spells can't cross through the entrance into or out of, but those inside can see out of it as though through a 5-foot by 5-foot window centered on the rope. Anything inside this space, when the spell ends, just drops out and gets dunked on the floor in a massive, messy heap.
But it is handy in a situation where you need to have like a quick getaway and at least hide out for
like an
however
ancient
long.
white dragon flying towards you at very fast speeds, which is the instance in which I used it. Ancient white dragon,
man.
level 5, absolute nope. Rope tricked out of there and hid in it for about an hour.
I really wish I'd taken that now instead of Snillock's Snowball Storm, because I have never used that spell before in my life.
Well,
Oh,
when
man.
you
Sure,
next
you can
level
swap
up,
it
you
out
can
at
switch your
some point, surely?
spells.
God,
You can
we've
switch
only
spells.
just... Annoyingly, we've only just leveled up, and the speed of which we did that is making me think that is gonna we're gonna be here a while before
Well,
level
there's
up
going
again.
to be some time.
We're going to be here a while. I can safely say that is
Well, I mean, you
probably
could always
a
go-
spell that doesn't get enough love. So, yeah. It's
I mean,
I
you
have
could
to
turn around
remember
and say, DM, any opportunity I could just switch the spell out, please. Thank you, please.
especially as you've never
Please.
I'm not
used
going to use
it.
this one. Any chance?
Yeah, or I can just do it.
Yeah.
I can just do it.
Especially
They
as
won't
you've
know.
never
Tell
used it, yeah.
Yeah.
You've
I
never
mean, to be-
used it, nobody need to know.
Classic rogue.
I mean, it's not like this conversation's being recorded and is going to go out to a public audience, so there's evidence
Yeah,
of me
no,
saying
exactly.
that.
This would it's all right. This will go in the bin. I'll just edit that bit out. Like, we'll just go road trip and then we'll just move on. They'll be like, "Wow, that's a weird bit of editing." They mentioned road trip and then just left the conversation as it there and just carried on talking about something else.
Just, there you go.
Yeah.
Oh,
Redacted.
no.
Redacted.
Just-
Redacted. Yeah.
Beep.
Yeah, but no, I think that is a good spell to actually. It's quite handy actually.
As an
So-
arcane trickster rogue, I can see it being incredibly useful because you can lean out of the space to cast spells or pop shot. You don't have to stay in the space. You just sort of hang your head out and then fire
Yeah.
and then go back in. It's a very safe way of being a nuisance, basically.
And I think
I do like
it is
being a
good.
nuisance.
And I think it's good as well if your whole like party's getting absolutely battered. You're like, right, we need to get out of here, and you can at least have a bit of respite, maybe get some healing or whatever in a space where you're kind of safe and the rogue. And if you've got other,
Yeah.
long range attacks, then they can at least take pot shots and stuff.
Yeah, because we've got a fighter, Moa Myosin.
Mm-hmm.
She plays
Blue.
she plays Blue, who is a fighter. Actually, she's a fighter rogue multiclass. But her main attack is bows, like bow and arrow. So she's a dex based fighter.
Archery, nice.
Yeah, so she's an archer, so that would work with that as well. And then
Yeah.
we've got a sorcerer in the mix, played by Stephen. So that's obviously ranged because you'd have to be an absolute maniac to be a melee sorcerer.
Oh,
Is there such a
yeah.
thing?
What is it?
Hi, I'm the melee sorcerer. Whack, dead.
Punch.
Yeah.
Strunk.
Whoops.
The strunk butch sorcerer with the.
Yeah,
I wonder who we
Scatter-
could be talking about there.
scattered across the ground. Yeah, interesting.
Oh wait, yeah, shit. Oh, okay, all right. I've never put myself into. I've
The
never.
light bulb.
Their glamour muscles.
The
I have
glamour muscles.
Never put myself into it. I have never put myself into a melee situation except for one time. I think
That
I
is true.
slapped somebody, but that wasn't combat. That was, I think.
No.
I didn't. That never happened, did it? I'm making that up.
I don't know. I slapped Shiv. Well, no, I didn't. Kiva slapped Hawthorne, but he did say something mean, so he deserved
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
That's
But no,
what
he was-
it's what I want to do. Yeah.
from a above table's perspective, I've never put myself in a situation where I was the strong one. I've always gone like, no, I'm a really big hench sorcerer with a 13 armor class. Please protect me.
Yeah, this is all beach muscle, guys. This is beach muscle. This is for show.
Oh yeah, if you throw a rock at me, I will cry. Like, don't get me wrong.
Or die. One of the
Or
two.
probably die.
Oh my god. Making David set this.
I love
Making death
Cadis.
saves.
I love Cadis. She makes no sense. She makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. She's a legend.
I love Cadis because she makes no sense, okay? I mean,
great.
I love
that's the
Cadis
point.
because she's awesome, but you know.
Oh, no, she's great, but she doesn't, like, she shouldn't be that hench for a sorcerer. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Oh, you
in
need to level
terms
her
of-
up to 12, by the way.
Oh, thank you. I would have
Just a
forgotten.
Yeah,
reminder.
do it before. I think
Yeah,
someone
explain
should
tomorrow.
probably poke Callum before tomorrow as well, because
Actually,
he
you know
needs to
what?
level up.
I might have already done it. I think I did it.
Oh.
This is great.
I'm looking at the
podcast
active
content, lads.
characters now, and only Hawthorne and Kiva are currently level 12.
Oh, sick.
This is set at level 11. So I've got Cal's number. I'll give him a text and remind him to do it. But yeah, that just suddenly reminded me. Oh, so we get to
Just messaged him on Discord as well.
yeah,
I get ability score improvement.
yay. But yeah, so yeah, rogues. We went really off topic for a minute there.
Yeah.
But
Doesn't matter.
rogues are awesome.
Support
It's
your
like
local
twisting
rogue.
of the rogue into like a PI is, or a Tomb Raider is a fun concept.
Yeah.
And rogues are very adaptable.
Mm.
So if you want to play a class that gives you the flexibility to be the you that you always wanted to be, with an element of sneaking and stealing,
Without the repercussions of the law.
without the repercussions of actually going to prison,
Yeah. Live out your
there you
fantasy
go.
of being
The
a rogue.
the rogue is your class.
It's
yeah.
for you.
The rogue is for you. The rogue is for many people. Those who like to stab, those who like to shoot, and those who like to steal. The three S's
Damn right.
of D&D.
Damn right. Yeah.
Right. Well, we've been banging on for over an hour now. I think we should call it a night before people think that we're obsessed with rogues.
I am though, so I'm
Yeah, I
not
was gonna
afraid.
say-
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm super obsessed with rogues now. Yeah, that
I
is
love them.
cool. But
I
yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
This conversation's just made me go like, oh no, I am right. They are the best class. Okay, cool. Nice.
That's all right. They are.
I feel very
they are.
validated. I feel very
Yes.
validated in this.
This is exactly
Well,
what I
that's what
wanted.
we-
I want
yeah.
validation.
We were aiming for absolute validation. We have
No.
done that.
It's
Also,
perfect.
one other little thing, which has got nothing to do with the rogue aspect of her, but I just want to say that now Ariana has a level in sorcery. She's actually got a 17 armor class because I took
Ooh.
draconic ancestry as the subclass.
Nice.
Which
Ooh.
gives you a
Nice,
bit
nice.
of gives you a bit
Dragon
of
hide.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. Do you get to breathe fire?
No, I don't. I had to choose.
Oh.
I had to choose a specific color of dragon to go with, and I went for gold because Ariana likes gold. Gold is normally fire
Yeah,
for
fire-based.
dragons and dragonborns, which she is because she's tiefling and everything. And yeah, so I don't know what's going to come up with that because I'm only in one level of it at the moment. But I can speak draconic, which is pretty sick. But no, I just wanted
Well,
to
there
get
you
that
go.
in there because it's something I'm very proud of. So
Yeah, but
of
then,
my build.
but that gives you a good RP aspect because then you can talk draconic with more.
Yeah, exactly. I can speak to the paladin character, which is fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's quite spicy that I managed to gain a level of sorcerer and be like, well, now I'm up there with the paladin and the fighter in terms of AC. It's lovely. I love it.
Get in there. Yeah, definitely. Cool. So,
Yes,
are we happy with the rogue? I believe we
Yes.
are.
big time.
So good. Fantastic. So, big time. Double
Big
thumbs up. 7 thumbs up.
Wait, 7? Where's that extra
Yeah.
hand come from? Shiv.
It's
What
Norfolk,
was it?
Norfolk based. Norfolk based. No, I'm joking.
Oh no.
If you're listening, Norfolk, I'm sorry. I'm not. So yeah, thank you, Toni, for joining us
Thank
on
you
this
for
very special episode.
having me. It's been
No
an
problem.
absolute blast. I love coming and visiting you little kobold guys. You're great. I love it.
Thank you very much. So yet again, if you go see Toni on Roll the Damn Dice, on Homebrew Havoc, which when this comes out, we've had another session.
Woo.
And on Monday for the One Shot Furious Road with, what's it called?
Final boss fight.
Final boss fight. My apologies. Yes. And go check out that Ko-fi store as well, which I'll post all the links and stuff in the description on the podcast, and go get some good stuff.
Find Toni at Surefire Designs all over Tinterwebs, or as Toni Shaw. And the rest of us, you might find us too, at Illyria Payne, at IOShiv, at Tukia Podcast. We're here. We're here somewhere. But the important one today, the important one today is Toni, though. Go find Toni at Surefire Designs. Go. Do it now. Buy stuff.
Stop it.
Cool. So
buy
thank you for joining
because
us.
I can't, because I feel bad because I can't. So go buy stuff on my behalf. Thank you.
Yeah. Tell her maybe seen you.
Thank you. And thank
Haley
you once again for being such gracious hosts. It's always a pleasure.
Well, there might be a 3-peat in the future. We'll see.
The threequel.
Yeah, the threequel. We'll see.
Love it.
But yes.
Oh God, I'll have to get that chandelier fixed. Whoops.
Yep. There's an insurance claim there somewhere.
Put the salamander away.
But yes, thank you for joining us, and we will see you again soon. So if you're out there, stay safe, and enjoy your life, I suppose. I don't know how to end these things.
I've been doing this.
Quite a while. Anyway, I just got
goodbye, everybody. Have a wonderful weekend. Take care. Goodbye. We love you.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.